Hi guys, and welcome to your second assignment this week. We're going to be continuing our Prismacolor work and going into much more detail and taking a little bit more time in how we're applying it to a project. Last week, as you already know, we dealt with MC Escher, and you're actually going to be colorizing that drawing. Now, I'm going to get into the specifics here in a second, so don't worry. If you feel more comfortable making a copy of that original drawing, feel free. Now, for the most part, in past semesters in this assignment, most people have colorized their actual assignment. That's what I recommend, considering you're here to learn and we're not here to create any masterpieces yet. However, if you feel more comfortable making a copy and colorizing that copy, make sure that the darks and the blacks in that copy are true blacks, just like your Sharpie was, because it's important for you to have that contrast, okay? As we pursue this, I do have an example, and you'll be able to see in this example, and I will also put this in Canvas in some of your steps. You can see there's a colorization in some of the areas that were white negative space. Now, obviously, you are not able to colorize the black areas, so please don't feel obligated to do that. But in the white areas, you're going to be obligated to create a light source. So whichever one of the MC Eschers you chose to use as your reference, you're going to be colorizing that specific piece you did last week, creating a light source. So as you can see, there's a type of fade that is established here through the use of a few colors. That doesn't mean every inch of white needs to be covered with Prismacolor pencil. That's not what I'm saying. I'm also not saying you're just using your drawings as a glorified coloring book. That's the last thing I want. What I'm asking you all to do in this is I'm asking you all to use your Prismacolor pencils to create a very specific light source through the use of your burnishing techniques and blending techniques that were established in your exercises. Now, if you feel more comfortable doing more exercises than you did in your last assignment, please, the more practice, the better before you actually get started on this specific assignment, because you are going to be colorizing something you've spent a decent amount of time on. Now, the only criteria for this project itself is that you're going to be using a certain number of pencils and a certain type of pencils, okay? Yes, you need to be using the Prismacolor, but I'm asking you to use a minimum of 3 pencils, not including your white. So you will be using your white to fade into some of your highlights, because as you already know through your practice, white can be very important to help with your burnishing process. So it's gonna be 3 pencils. The other thing that I'm asking you to do for your criteria is to use 2 pencils of either warm or cool, and then 1 pencil of the opposite. So for instance, you might use 2 cool pencils and 1 warm pencil, or 2 warm pencils and 1 cool pencil. Either way, that works. But I really want you to think about what color palette you're going to be going for. That's important. And do some tests. So on a scrap sheet of paper, I would test to see, all right, how do these colors work together? Is this a color palette that I'm actually comfortable with? And do I want to pursue this as I colorize my MC Escher drawing? Okay? So you're going to have to do a little bit of grunt work before you actually get started on this, just to become familiar with your color palette and to become more prepared. All right? So as you can see, again, the entire image is not colorized. However, you do need to colorize a significant portion of it in the negative space. And then by doing so, you're going to create a light source. And I don't mind where that light source is from. It doesn't have to be from a corner like I did this. All right. But I also don't want you to feel like you're trying to achieve some sort of realism when it comes to, for instance, using the sky as a reference. Don't feel like you need to put any sort of sun in there or anything that's representational. You're colorizing for the sake of creating a light source, essentially creating a dynamic drawing that's colorized, okay? If you have questions, please email me. Otherwise, enjoy your new technique of burnishing. I can't wait to see these once they're finished. I think these are going to be absolutely gorgeous, and I look forward to our critique, which you'll be submitting these in the future to. Take care and good luck.